Welcome to Navigating Neurodiversity, the podcast where two moms, Natalie
and Carly, share the real, raw, and often beautiful journey of raising neurodivergent kids alongside their neurotypical siblings.
Here we trade perfection for connection, celebrate differences, and create a space filled with hope, inspiration, laughter, and a whole lot of heart. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's navigate this together. We're going to talk about therapy. We're going to talk about red light therapy, sauna therapy. We're going to talk about ABA therapy.
Lasers.
Laser.
My personal favorite. And if you don't know what those are or why they would be therapeutic, please Google it.
We're talking to you from our red light sauna right now. What worked, what hasn't worked. We're going to talk about our children's experiences. What we've, now that I've got a kindergartner and he's starting to ask more questions and figure things out. And we're also talking about the schools. We could do a whole episode on the schools and the IEPs and the therapy.
And the wonderful paraprofessionals that dedicate their lives to the kids there.
But essentially taking charge. This is your child. It's your gut. It's your instinct. And we just want to know, we want you to know that we're here. We hear you. We're living it with you. And we want to just share our experiences, and we hope you'll share yours so we can make our kids the best version of themselves. Now we're going to share some funny stories that we can make light out of our intense or scary or anxiety-ridden situations. So I had the family over swimming one day, and of course the kids are all completely exhausted and tired after a long day of swimming in the heat and having way too many snacks. But at the very end, my niece had hurt her toe. She had stubbed her toe on something, and she's crying, and we're all kind of sitting out there hot from the sun, exhausted. And here comes Mason, butt naked, riding a horse, chewing on his chew stick, riding right past us, completely naked on the little horsey.
Yeah.
It was so funny. We all started cracking up, just completely unfazed by life. I mean, it really does kind of make you sit and wonder about what is can I get in their head? Can I really appreciate the present and not care about what people think? I'll tell you what, I do have a problem with that. My ego is probably my worst enemy. I have a problem with, being out in public, trying to make it look like he doesn't have autism. And I'll admit it. And I don't know if anybody else is out there like that. And I can't believe I'm saying it out loud, but it is. I mean, and then God forbid if he does, a vocal stim, he'll clench his fist close to his jaw and he'll go like that. And he'll do it when he's very excited or nervous about things. And I'll give him the words. I'll narrate his day. I also have a problem with if something does, if he is stimming or is repeating the same thing or not responding to the cashier who says, "Oh, hi, what's on your shirt?" Why do I feel like I have to share everything with strangers? I feel like...
What do you mean, announcing, what's going on with him?
I don't know. I feel like I have to let them know that I know what's going on and I'm on top of it. I don't know why.
Yeah, almost like you feel like people are judging you, like you're not doing a good enough job or something.
Right, or maybe she doesn't know he has autism. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have to make it known that I'm on top of it when the symptoms do show in public. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm constantly trying to, and I'm mad at myself for doing that.
Are you showing them that you're on top of it, or are you explaining to them, hey, this is typical and this is what he's doing? Or is it more like hiding it, or what is it?
Because I don't know. I do find myself wondering I don't know why I care what people think so much, but maybe I'll get over it as I get older. I don't know. But, I find myself wondering I wonder if they think he has autism. For example, I had some clients in the office the other day, and of course the kids are home because it's summertime, and Mason, he goes to the bathroom and he lets us know because he needs some help wiping when he has a bowel movement. So we're working on him telling us before he has to go so we can prepare. However, what he's been doing is going to the bathroom and then running out to find us naked and saying, "Mom, I went poop." So of course I have a lovely husband and wife in my office, and what do you know? He runs in bare butt, and says, Mom, I pooped. So I run out of the office. Of course, they were great because they had 9 grandkids and everybody gets it. But when I came back, I did say, well, if you haven't noticed, he's autistic. I feel like I did have to announce it. It's just like the elephant in the room for me. So I don't know. I don't know.
What I will say about that is I think, it surprises me. The reality is you see a lot of people out in public now with kids that have certain mannerisms or have certain tendencies, and people assume, especially if the parents nearby, that they're doing a great job. Like, I would not think like you have to say anything. I just wouldn't.
But that's so funny because we were talking the other day and I was like, oh, I've imagined like this scenario in a store and some ladies like, says, oh, why don't you, teach him how to respond properly, and I imagine like telling her off or something, and you couldn't believe that I imagined all these scenarios. How are you so calm and collected in stressful situations?
So here's this wonderful thing, because like inside I was thinking like, tell me your secret, because I was like, I want to have some ammo one day when I need to have ammo, but
that's my anxiety. That is my crippling anxiety, creating scenarios that, guess what, haven't happened. Thankfully, have not happened.
Well, people have well prepared, man.
People have been wonderful. Oh, I am prepared. Let me tell you.
I am not prepared, and there has been moments where I'm like, okay, I've been like, I feel so bad for that person that they literally have to be judgy like that. Like, that's where my brain goes. I'm like, what has that person had to deal with in their life that they're looking at someone who is literally quite possibly struggling every day, and a mom who's probably got 2 kids in one, let's be real, or even 3 depending on your situation, or 4, in one kid, in one child.
But why do I devise these scenarios of these people saying stuff? And you know what? The coolest thing is that I have been so filled with love and joy. I mean, we were just invited to a birthday party, one of his classmates that's just, neurotypical. And it was at a jump zone. And what do you know? His favorite part of the stinking jump zone is climbing and the slides and the whatever that's called, the jungle gym area. What do you know? That area was closed. So talk about, of course, right? So the birthday girl and 2 other girls were like, so he's crying, and he's trying to move the mat that's blocking the doorway to the jump zone. Now, there's plenty of other areas, but of course, that's his favorite with the slide. He's like, I want the slide. Do you know that I was about to go up to him and try to calm him down, and these 3 girls, including the birthday girls, I mean, my heart absolutely exploded. They were like, Mason, it's okay. Come jump with us. Look, there's another slide over here. And they grabbed his hand. He walked with them, and they took him and played on the other slide, and then he got over it.
Wow. Is that the same age girls?
Yeah, they were the 2nd grade girls, and my heart just absolutely exploded. And then a couple of the moms came up to me and were like, "Oh, are you Mason's mom? He's so-and-so's boyfriend." And they just love him, and he comes home with drawings of animals because everybody knows he's obsessed with animals and loves animals. And one of the girls drew him a giraffe, and one of them drew him a butterfly. And I mean, I'm constantly surprised, and my heart is just overwhelmed with joy because probably I'm always thinking the worst case scenario, and happily people have surprised me.
That's really wonderful to hear, because I think you're just planning, it's nothing bad for you, but you're just planning for the unexpected. And I think as parents of kiddos like this, we have to plan for the unexpected.
Yeah.
I think for me, maybe I don't plan for the unexpected. I feel like I need to have some stuff backed up. I mean, what?
You're so happy all the time and cool and calm and collected.
But I mean, I do have my moments of like fear. Like, Nolan is very passive, very cool. But recently in the last 3 years, and this is also another topic we can come up with, after COVID hit, he had a huge regression at age 6. And like, I had to climb and claw my way out of this regression. And even last summer, and poor Natalie has probably seen me, but like, I was taking him, I'm sure you remember, like when I
Well-
was taking him to summer school. He's like,
Yeah.
he had a regression to the point where he lost a lot of his skills, basically wasn't even talking anymore,
That's actually when I met you. We had our kids both in special rec camp.
summer school or a summer camp. Yeah. He would have these like aggressive things where he was never an aggressive kid ever. Like sweet, passive, hugging, kissing, always wanting to be with adults. That was a big thing for him. Big adult contact, not really so much about kids.
Right.
And
Because
I
it's
think-
unexpected. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, and so isn't that interesting because Nolan has such a different experience, but yet at the same time has similar overlap with, you know, he loves adults. He's looking at them, smiling at them, like, please pay more attention to me. I love you. I'll sit on your lap. I'll hug you. Like, you know, and then he went from that and had some aggressive problems. And so that's where I went down my pandas. I don't know if you guys are familiar with pandas. I'm sure some of you moms are. It is a crazy tunnel and it is not widely accepted by the medical community. I'll tell you that. And I have been fighting some systems, we'll just say, for the last year and a half regarding it. So, but I have learned so much and looking forward to sharing all the things I've learned over the time because really a lot, I think personally, that has to do with our experiences with our kiddos, have a huge amount to do with how their brain is processing a lot of things, including inflammation. At least for Nolan, I know that I have him on a specific diet and we try to keep inflammation low, and that's something we can dive into in another episode. But I think I should talk about one of Nolan's situations where I was incredibly embarrassed, but because it was grandma and grandpa, it didn't really matter as much to them.
And sometimes we just have to laugh at the silly things they do.
So Nolan went through a phase, and it was because they say that stimming, it doesn't necessarily get quote unquote better, but it just changes.
It changes.
So I'm going to call this a stim because I really don't know what it is.
I'll tell you what. If you think
You can
about
tell me
it,
what it is.
I'll tell you what. I'm sitting here playing with a flower-shaped pen right now.
gonna say.
If it's not that, I'm curling my hair, I'm biting my nails.
yeah.
Do we all have stems?
I think we do.
I think we do. We could definitely
Interesting.
dive into.
Because I've always been like, I also bite my nails as well.
I roll the paper. If there's a
And-
paper in front of me, I'll sit
okay.
and roll it.
I click my pen, and like my one friend, she kicks her foot a lot.
Look at
like,
you
she
kicking your
can't-
foot
No,
right
I was
now.
just doing something about her. But like, I probably do that too.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
We
just,
all
like,
do.
Yeah. So
We all have
We
ways.
just haven't metamorphosized into the one that I'm about to talk about,
Oh, this
which
is hilarious.
quite on.
So grandma's what? Grandma's coming
Grandma and
to
Grandpa
visit?
are like Nolan's favoriteest people ever. Okay, like they are like magical. Okay, so he knows that they're coming. Of course, I tell him early morning, which is probably not a great idea because they're not due till like 2. And so he's asking Grandma, Grandpa, Grandma, Grandpa. Anyways, so they finally get there.
And you have this
and-
big, beautiful bay window
I have
in the
these
front sidewalk.
Yes, I have these large windows where whenever, he goes to see who the visitors are. And I mean, were all my kids there? I think all my kids might have been there. And they were like looking out the window like, Grandma and Grandpa are here, Grandma and Grandpa are here. And Nolan, whenever he would get excited or nervous, he went through this phase of shoving his entire hand down his throat and creating a gag reflex. Not just once, like over and over and over again. So poor Grandma and Grandpa are just, kind of coming up the sidewalk. And Nolan's looking out there like, Grandma and Grandpa are here. Like over and over and over again. And I'm just trying to keep it, poor Grandma and Grandpa. I don't know, but like I have 4 kids.
The look on her face, Grandma's face,
Yeah,
probably.
she's like, oh, hi, honey. Like, what is going on? But like I got a circus, okay? So even if you come over to someone's house who has 4 kids, it's like, it's
Yeah.
going to be a total poop show, okay? But then you add on the fact that you've got some stimming stuff that's
I
just
know.
over the top, and you're like, I don't even know how to control this. Like, how do you even do it? So it turns out, like, my theory on why that was happening is because when you have a brain injury or you're sick, you're dealing with, like, lots of inflammation, or you're dealing with something with your vagus nerve, by stimulating your vagus nerve, which can be done through your throat and your mouth, which is interesting because you said that Mason does his vocal stimming, which is like kind of making a loud sound in his
near
throat.
his chin. Yeah.
Yes, and near the chin. And if you go like a little bit further past the jaw, like a little bit below the ear, the vagus nerve is there. And that can lower inflammation, that can reduce fight or flight response. So you've got a situation where whatever's going on, it's exciting and scary and anxious for them. And like, it's just all rolled up into one wonderful experience for us to be embarrassed by. But like the people that truly love us and our kids, it's like, it doesn't matter. Okay. Right. And those that don't get the joy and the blessing to experience kids like ours are really truly missing out. And like, that's the thing when I'm out in public and I think, oh, people are looking at, you know, Nolan because he's doing something unusual. I think about like, you know what? The reality is like the rates are increasing of people with different tendencies. And that's a reality we all have to face. People are going to learn to accept this because it is a change in our society. It's a change in our society. It's goofy, it's weird, we're embarrassed, but the reality is we're not the only ones. And that's kind of why we're here. We're here to share this with other moms. Like, tell us your stimming story. Like, it's okay if it's weird. We've been there, okay? We are open to this. We're open to your goofy stuff. I mean, riding naked on a horse, a mechanical horse.
Funny.
I mean, it's great. Like, we're going to look back at this and be like, wow, like, you know, like, I think we're all working towards a goal. We're working towards improving their life to the best possible way, in the best possible way that we can. A big part of this process is also teaching other kiddos that are not experiencing the same difficulties or obstacles that they are, that they can engage properly in this generation, in this next generation, that they can become like the girls that you saw at the party, that were kind. I think girls just naturally have this more intuitive experience where they can connect with kids like ours, which is wonderful. But going forward, people just need to get on the stick. I mean, this is a very common thing that a lot of parents are going through.
And we have to talk a lot about this, our other kids too, because Frankie, let me tell you, he's built different and he's not going to stand up to it and he's going to stick up for Mason and he's going to be that protector. And I don't even know how that happened. He's just starting to kind of figure things out. And I love the way you explained, because I had asked you the other day, how do you explain it to your kids that, are asking questions and remind me how you explain it.
I love talking about this. I have Henry 7, Arlo 6, and Sydney 4. And Sydney's not 100% there yet. She's kind of fighting for a right to party, okay, because she's got 3 older brothers. So she's kind of a little bit on a learning curve right now. But I will say Henry and Arlo, Henry especially right now, Arlo too, but you got to catch him at the right moment. But Henry, he kept asking me about a year ago, why doesn't Nolan do this? Or why doesn't Nolan want a hug? Or why doesn't Nolan play basketball with me? And why doesn't he talk like I do? And what was really hard for me to explain is, well, Nolan is different. And he's like, well, why? And it took me a little while to realize, this is kind of how we all are. But what I wound up saying is that how we grow, we may see ourselves grow on the outside, like we get taller, we get bigger, stronger, we become an adult, right? We get like a mommy and daddy. But some people, they're a little bit younger on the inside. And you're not able to tell until you start talking to them or until you start engaging with them. You are older on the inside than Nolan. And if you are older on the inside than Nolan, you need to help Nolan. You get to be a teacher. You get to help him hold his hand when he needs someone to hold his hand. Just connecting with him. You need to be the one that initiates that because you are like you are older on the inside.
I love that. I love that explanation. I mean, it really helps them form a visual of what it's like because they don't get it. I know Frankie said, Mason, talk about what you're seeing, use your words, because he's excited about something and we're trying to just have him find the words to explain that, oh, hey, I'm excited. This is awesome. It's interrupting our daily lives. We'll just be doing something normally and Frankie will be like, Mason, stop it. But now he's starting to say, Mason, what are you excited about? And he's starting to ask the right questions and notice that, hey, he's not going to answer questions, so I've got to step up and answer questions if somebody asks or have him explain it if I'm just hearing him stimming.
That's such a good point because so it's important for us to explain what's going on the inside of people to our kids rather than just the outside. Because they'll see older kids in different grades, you know, and they'll think that they're older. They assume that they're older, you know, mentally and physically. But like, if we really think about it, we all know some people that are still immature. I mean, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just a neurodivergent person. It's like, I think we all grow differently on the inside. Explaining that to our kids, even if you don't have a neurodivergent child, by teaching our kids that we all grow differently is super important. It's important to teach all kids in all walks of life that we all know this. We're all diverse in some sort of way. And it's kind of beautiful. It's very unique. Like Mason's teaching you stuff. Nolan's teaching me stuff. It's a really cool thing. And we wouldn't ever know this until we really truly understood that everybody's kind of different on the inside and we grow differently on the inside.
Right. And, one thing I want to talk about is, how is his quality of life versus what I want his quality of life to be? I mean, I'm so, I'm trying to have friends and meetups and hangouts. And you know what? He is perfectly 1000% contempt with hanging out, building his Minecraft stuff and getting his snacks. And you know what? And part of me is a little worried that once he doesn't need me, he's going to be fine. I know Mason's going to be fine. He is going to have his own apartment or home. He is tidy. He is neat. He puts things away.
Awesome.
It's unbelievable. He'll eat, he'll grab his snack, he'll throw it in the garbage when he's done. He'll wash his hands. I mean, and part of me is probably babying him because I know that he is capable, and once he's got it figured out, he doesn't need me. And that has been a challenge for me. I also want to talk about how I've literally had to become a CSI investigator. Mason, he's so used to, with all the therapies, he is so used to responding to questions and responding in a way that he asks me things, but in a way where he's telling me something on how I would respond. For example, he would say, "Do you want to turn the light off?" When really he should be saying, "Mom, can you turn the light off?" But he's saying it because he's used to me asking him something or an adult asking him something. So talk about confusion as, the parent here. I have to kind of wait and think, okay, he's saying something. He's asking me something, but he's forming it coming in the form of a demand where it's hard to explain, but it's like a backwards thinking almost.
Okay, yeah.
So he'll say
But what
something.
happens during that event when you say that? Or because you ask him usually, you say it in that tone and in that sentence. You say, "Do you want to turn the light off?" That's what you say to Mason.
Right. And then he'll say, "Do you want to turn the light off?" And right.
Okay.
Instead of asking us,
So
"Hey,
it's like a
can you
two-step
turn the light
process.
off?"
Like, I'm waiting for you to ask me this because I want it off.
Right. So he's actually just saying things that he's heard us say, but he can't figure out how to say it from his perspective, if that makes any sense. So, my brain gets confused.
His mouth has moved in a way to copy you guys, it seems like.
Exactly. That's the
That's
words
interesting,
that he's used to hearing. So everything that he hears, he can say, but he doesn't say it from his own brain.
question.
It's almost like scripted, but he knows what he needs. It's very confusing. I have to give him the words so that in the future, when he remembers some script about turning the light off, he remembers, "Mom, can you turn the light off?" Because now I've said that 100 times. Yeah. So it's ironic because Santa delivered a couple hamsters to us for Christmas this year. But I do kind of describe it as, I feel like I'm running in a hamster wheel. I feel like what we can tell a neurotypical child, 1 or 2 or 3 times if it's a 6-year-old, we might have to tell our child, our neurodivergent child, 100 times, so we're constantly trying to figure out what, if we finally got to the stage where if his head hurts, he's grabbing a Band-Aid and putting a Band-Aid on his head, which you're like, I want to correct it. And I want to say, oh, it's not actually a scratch. You don't need a Band-Aid. However, we've worked so hard to have him tell us his head hurts.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah.
That's
So
very
guess what?
important.
He walks around with a Band-Aid on his head all day, and, and then he asks for medicine. And so just the littlest things that come so easy to, your neurotypical children is just, oh, I just feel like I'm running in a hamster wheel. And I just feel so exhausted sometimes.
The scripting can be hard. I mean, Nolan does that too. Maybe it's age, maybe it's just, like you said, 100 times versus 3 times.
Right.
Nolan used to answer a question, like if we gave him choices, he'd always pick the last choice.
Right.
I don't know if Mason ever did that.
Yes.
But it was like, oh, would you like a hot dog or a hamburger? And he'd say hamburger.
Mm-hmm. And then you'd reverse it.
And then I reverse it, and then he would say hot dog.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, we got to figure this out.
Yep.
But somehow, some way, I think through repetition, frequency, right? Like the frequency of which you're asking the question, you constantly keep on the answer and like how you're trying to, like, how the heck do you do it? Then I'm showing him visuals, Somehow, some way through repetition, I think you get through it somehow. But it's so good. How did you get to the Band-Aid part on what hurts?
Well, the therapy had to show videos. He's very visual. So, so we would show him pictures of a kid falling down, hurting his knee, an adult kind of sitting by him going, what's wrong? And so we would say, oh, and then so we would show him the pictures and he would say, oh, he hurt his knee. Who should he tell? Oh, he should tell his mom, tell his dad. And so over time now, when something hurts, now he comes to me, ow, ooh, look, your elbow, but he still says, oh, your elbow instead of my elbow. So he's still talking from the experience of people telling him, talking to him. And so then being the parent, I have to kind of unjumble it myself and put it into context. So that alone is exhausting and confusing, but I just feel like the more I give him the words to say, the more he's memorizing and practicing them.
That's interesting. And it just makes me think of some ways that therapies attack this type of situation. I feel like they sometimes use some sort of a sensory stimuli. Like, let's say, for example, they would tap the elbow and say, my elbow hurts, and just continue, like, not even saying your elbow. Oh, is it your elbow? And I keep telling Nolan to, like, repeat what I'm saying, like, and I will wait. I will just sit there and wait until he says it the right way. And that sounds horrible because I'm not waiting there all day or anything, but
no, you have to learn to pause. You
Yeah.
really, because you want to give him the words so many times. And I know it's not natural. And I've started to do that now. Let's say again, let's use the cashier example. Oh, how old are you? And I'll just stare at him and I'll pause. And a lot of times I'll say, oh, he's 8. And now I've tried to stop doing that and just let him figure it out and answer.
Do you, like, tell him what to say? Like, I am 8?
What I'll do is I'll ask him again. Because I feel like he hears me more
I would agree with
so
that.
than
Like, what
a
is
stranger.
up with that? Like, I feel like the mom voice or whatever, the closest connection that they have to an adult, it's almost like they're phasing out the other people.
Because they're comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, and so like our mission is to have him generalize, to be able to do it in school. I mean, listen, not that I agree with everything that happens in a school setting. However, we all had to do it. We all have to sit there and raise our hand and ask to go to the bathroom. You can't just get up and run to the bathroom like you'd like to do. We might not want to, but we have to. And, I think that's kind of the funniest story is like, truthfully, I wish I could live his life. He tells it like it is. I mean, he doesn't want somebody at our house. Let's say we have visitors. He'll be like, bye, Aunt Mel. And it's like, no, she's not leaving yet. That's rude. But like, I mean, truthfully, I have to work on my filter a lot of times, but I do find it comical that he has less of a filter and that you do always know what he thinks. And I appreciate it, but how do you teach somebody to have a filter? You could think that, but you're not supposed to say that. And truthfully, I find it so difficult to teach our neurodivergent children things like, okay, looking at the camera and smiling. How many times do we take pictures of our children? Oh, look at this camera. Look at this black dot right here, and make a happy face so I could post it on Facebook so all my friends from 30 years ago could see that I have a happy child. Are you kidding me?
Right?
Like, it sounds so stupid when I say it out loud. I have to look in a camera and make a happy face because right now I'm having fun.
Well, that is so beautiful.
I mean, it's
So
real.
I am, kudos to Mace, because honestly, like, that is how we should be. Like, everybody's got their Facebook page and whatever, and everybody's sharing stuff with people that they don't privately share with them anyways. Like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, how's life been? Oh, wow, you're amazing. Like, let's hang out. But it's like, it's not like that.
Well, but
it's just
I
face
think,
value.
hey, I'll admit it. I mean, of course, we put the best pictures up.
Right.
It's marketing at its finest, and we have to realize that we have our trials and tribulations. We're trying to figure it out one day at a time.
Exactly. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like we have all these little puzzle pieces to fit into. Like we are a puzzle piece to fit into school. We are a puzzle piece to fit into social media and our families with these different shaped puzzle pieces that aren't the typical fit, right? Like this latest generation or two, we have kiddos that are a little bit different and it's not the typical. So maybe the typical needs to change.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, maybe what we're really talking about is what is typical? I mean,
What is?
Maybe is it defined by society? Who's defining society? Just like the masses of fakeness where we throw stuff on social media that's not even truly genuine. So we have these genuine children. Maybe it's a mirror of, and I'm getting real deep here. Whoa!
No, hey.
Okay, this is me though. So maybe it's a reflection of the reality that we all, neurodiverse or not, maybe this is a mirror we all have to look at and face. Is everybody just playing their part? And what's real? Because the reality is love is real. We love our kids. Our kids are like these unconditional kids that love us no matter what, and their siblings. And yeah, they struggle being in the environment that society has designed to fit into. And as this beautiful metaphor, we're all puzzle pieces. And I'm so tired of it being like we have to fit into this place, but it's like maybe we need to change the design of the puzzle, a little bit. And maybe maybe we're learning from our kids, and maybe the next generation upon next generation is going to be completely different, living a different way, different expectations, and not so tight fitting.
Over time, people are starting to question more and, not just take things at face value and dive deeper. And, I think that's our quest, is just to find out, how do we live our best lives? I mean, that's all we have to focus on.
I agree.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're here, it means you're walking a path that's anything but typical, and we're right here with you. We believe in reframing reality, leaning into what makes our kids unique, and holding on to hope even on the hard days. You're not alone, and your instincts matter. If you had an experience you'd like to share, ask a question, or tell us a success story, we'd love to hear it. Come for the hopes, hacks, and honest chaos. Stay because you feel seen. Until next time, remember, you're doing better than you think, and you're never alone on this journey.